Everybody. I'm back. Not for long though. I hope not for long because I have class in like 5 hours. Not even like four. But like I'm just making a video because I'm like I've been scrolling on like Instagram reels and like I said, it's something I need to work on. I know. Like sue me. I always say something and then I don't do it. Sue me, whatever the fuck, right? But anyways, I was like scrolling and then I was like, there have been so many TikToks for me about like supernatural. Like, yeah, have you guys seen those like two dudes that like dress up as Sam and Dean and they just like do shenanigans? Like, I don't even know how to like explain it, but it's like so entertaining to me because like the dude that plays Sam like puts his pussy he puts his fucking bussy into the character and it's like the greatest thing. Like the wig is always like kind of like shroon a little bit and like the it's just like the flannel and just like the strut. Like it's cunt. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of those and it's just been so entertaining and like it just and like tied with that, I've been talking to one of my friends a lot about just like back in the day of like when we were freaks on like Tumblr. And I guess I don't know if I ever brought it up to you guys, but like I think it's pretty obvious just in the way that I act and the way that I talk and like obviously the way like the back. Like I was obviously obvious oh where are we? I was obviously in the trenches, right? I was listening to Lana Del Rey. I was on that like Tumblr grind. Like it was wicked. I was on Wattpad, this and that. And like I said, I think I already told you guys this, but to rehash, I was kind of a weird kid. I was like super into like Hatalia, Homestuck, and stuff like that. And then eventually I'll talk more about that. But like, I'm gonna fast forward because Hatalia and Homestuck was like my first foray into like, oh wow, like I'm a freak. But then, well, I think there was something before that, but I can't recall. But like from what I remember, those two were like the big freak moments for me. But then I got into Supernatural, and Supernatural, like I think probably rewired something in me, which is kind of weird to say now that I'm like an adult and like a little bit more mature. But like, yeah, I was, yeah. And my favorite character, I think, was like Gabriel. Is that his name? Gabriel. I don't know, the fucking trickster god or whatever. I think I just really like cunty, sassy characters. I like someone who has a little back sass, someone who's like a little nasty, a little kind of freakish. I don't know. I just really like back talkers and people who have like really big attitudes. And I think I really I really enjoy like jokester characters, like people who don't like just fuck around and find out kind of type of characters because I personally find them entertaining. I don't know what it is. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like I don't remember a lot of like what I was into in Supernatural. I just remember doing a lot of like Destiel fan art. But like I'm gonna be honest with you, Destiel was not like my big ship. Like I shipped it, but like my big ship was Sam and Gabriel. Like I was in the trenches, bro. Like I think I wrote like fan fiction for them. I think I even made like my own like spin-off. You know Tina from Bob's Burgers? Like I'm just like her. Okay? Like every time I watch something that like is even remotely fictional or something, I will literally create fan fiction about it. Like then put me in the place of like the characters. Like she is so real. Like Tina is so real because she's just like me. Like I do that with every single fucking show I've ever watched. I've done that with Hannibal. I've done that with like Rick and Morty. I've done that with like literally every fucking show. Like I even created a character like a universe based off of like South Park. Like I made like little not little. They're like I don't know, like elementary kids, like that, like just like fuck around and find out, you know, they like go on these weird adventures and then they end up in like near death situations and stuff like that. And so well that doesn't pertain to me but like it's still the same concept, right? I take something that I've watched and I'm influenced by it so I create something out of it. Like I was playing Obey Me at the time, you guys know about that. I was playing Obey Me at the time and I even made OCs based off of Obey Me, but like it was my own personal like universe. It wasn't based in like Obey Me, but it was like based on like a magical world where people had like familiars and like, stuff like that. And it was very gay. And then what's another one that I can I'm like trying to think. I even made one based off a haiku because I was watching that at the time and I was like, wow, what if I just made that but like made it fucked up? So I made like this haiku world full of like dudes that were like murderers and like people that were like criminals. Like there was a dude that was an arsonist, and then there was a dude that was a murderer. There's a dude that was like a stalker. There's a dude that was like I don't know. I don't know. There was just a lot. Okay. And so I don't know what that was all about. Maybe I mean if you guys are interested, I might share. It's gonna expose a lot of me, but like I put a lot of work into it, and but it's like it's not like It's not like, like something that I'm like passionate about. It's just I just do it, And I'm trying to think of other things. I might have. Oh, I did one for Bungle Stray Dogs as well, but it was like my own version of Bungle Stray Dogs, but it's like literally a ripoff of Bungle Stray Dogs, right? It's like the same characters basically, but just like their genders are mixed up or like they have different personalities, but like the general gist of it's the same. Like they're at like a news station and they do like news stuff, and then but turns out they're like these like people with superpowers and they like fight crime at night or something. It's kind of like my own like superhero universe but like gay. So there's that. I mean, DC and like Marvel is kind of, a little a little, but it is what it is. And then I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's like the most recent one I can think of. I haven't done the one universe that like is not really based off of well, I have two universes. I think one universe is slightly based off of Detroit Become Human. It's about like these triplets. It's okay. So my story, my story is about triplets, and they can all like speak to the dead, but like they speak to the dead in like different ways. So one of the triplets, they're able to see the ghosts or like the apparitions or whatever the fuck, the supernatural motherfuckers, but they can't hear or like touch them. They can just see them, And then the other one, they can hear the apparitions. They can hear them like talking and stuff, but they can't see or like touch them. And then the other one can, obviously. And I think the one that can touch them is, I don't remember which one was which. I think okay, so like one of the twins is like a mortician, and that was based off of an AU that I made way back when I was like in like junior high. And then another OC I made was like a couple of years flash forward, and so I like ended up mixing up those two, and then I made another twin, like another triplet. So I ended up making a whole universe. So it was like a mismatch of like different universes. But I think it's like I think the mortician one was inspired by, it wasn't by a show, it was by what was the Ask a Mortician. I was watching a lot of her videos back in the day, and I was just so inspired. So I made a mortician AU, and I even made like people that like were in the universe. Like I made like the funeral director. I made like a new person that came in and like meets the mortician, and like the general gist of that story was that like the mortician is like kind of weird and off-putting, and that people think he's like a murderer and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty basic plot line. I don't know, but and then it turns out like they have to go on this like freaky adventure because there's like something that's like not allowing the dead to like pass over or something. I don't know. But then I scrapped the idea because I was just like, I'm not feeling it. Like I even wrote like a couple, like even the story about it, I like fleshed out the universe and everything, but then I was just like, nah, I'm not interested in that. I dropped that, and then I got into Detroit Become Human, which was, I think was like a year or two after that. And then I was inspired by Connor and what's his name? The old guy, I can't remember his name, but Connor, that like little storyline about Connor. I can't remember his name. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, basically like the detective storyline. So I made a little bit something based off of that, and then I guess I just mashed those two together because I was like, why the fuck not? And then I made another one that was a doctor. And I think I don't remember if the doctor is the one that can. I think the doctor is the one that can like hear them maybe, and then no, I don't know, I don't remember which one is which. I'll have to look in my notes, but like that's a universe that was kind of like an amalgamation of like things I've watched and I've like become inspired by. And then there's another one that I'm like lagging on. Oh, it's a fairly recent one. I made it this summer, and I haven't given it a name. I don't think. I think there is a name to it, but essentially, it's about like all these like rich people and like people that live within this like Utah. It's like a Utah town, and like something about the town is like super off. Like there's like a murder. Oh, there's like a string of like murders happening, and then there's like this. So there's this new guy. I think it's a little bit inspired by Dream Daddy, but like I haven't like really consumed any of that content. It's been a while since I've seen Dream Daddy or like even watched people play it, and so I don't know where that came from. But anyways, but like it's kind of like Dream Daddy, but not really. Like a new guy rolls into town and he's a dad, and everyone in the story is also a dad. So I think that's probably what it's inspired by. But like it's kind of I don't know. But anyways, so my main character, he's like a detective. He comes in. Well, I don't think he's a detective anymore. He used to be a detective, but then he had to retire, and then so he's like technically a professor at the community college that is in this like little town. I don't know how that happens, but whatever. And And then so he gets to like meet all these like string of characters, and you get characters from like, you know, the mayor, and then you get a character like a person that owns a restaurant, and they're all like connected in a way, but they're not like, they don't know all like are like on the same terms, like they're all not all like friendly, they're like obviously different dynamics and stuff. But yeah, I was obsessed with that. Developing that story in the summer instead of doing like genuine work of like building my portfolio or something. But I mean, I'm not gonna like make myself feel bad about wanting to express myself like creatively, you know. But yeah, I mean, I can show you guys. I mean, I have a lot written about them, and it got deep. Okay, it got deep, and I even wrote like little blurbs about them. And I think that was like one of the like the first times in a long time that I've like written anything that isn't like school related. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so fucking hard. Like anyone out there that's like writing their own book or like writing fan fiction or this and that, like you guys are fucking insane, because I don't know how you guys do it, but I respect it so much, because I sat down and I was like, the only things I could muster out was just like dialogue. Like I could not write any descriptives. Like I'll be just like write dialogue and conversations, but I couldn't like write the atmosphere. I couldn't create a scene. I'll be like, this character in this house, like I was basically writing a script but with like a little bit more like details. Just like, oh, this character was in this person's house and they're, you know, uncomfortable and this and that, and then I'll just start writing like the dialogue, and then I'll go back and then add in the details. But I think the way that my brain works, I'm like, I just want to get them like communicating. I want to see how they communicate, and I want to see how they dilly dal or whatever the fuck. And so yeah, but it's freaky. I think I'm trying to think of like another. I feel like I have another one. I made one back when this is when I was like super obsessed with like writing stories and stuff. But I had one called like Devil's Advocate, and it was just based off of like the seven deadly sins, and I think that was kind of inspired by Percy Jackson, because I was really obsessed with the series at the time. But basically it would be like this kid that dies or whatever, and he like goes to hell because he was a really bad kid. Like I think he was like a school shooter. OMG, like he was a school shooter, he was really fucked up, so he goes to hell and stuff, and then like as the story goes on, it like unravels why he was a school shooter. But like I think at the time I was like a 14-year-old that didn't understand like how to humanize a character, or like how to like deal with the like this like really tough subject of, one, like a teenage boy dying, and two, school shooter. Like I don't think I would have ever, personally, I don't think I would ever pick up that story ever again. And if I did, I think I would have to like switch up like the character, because I don't think I can write, I don't think I can fully like uncover and like really dissect the nuances of like a school shooter and like redeeming a school shooter. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to like succinctly write something that like is not like promoting, you know, the act of like mass murder. Okay. And so that was that. But that was a series that I worked on for a really long time. I did a lot of research. Oh, I think it was also alongside being inspired by Percy Jackson, it was also inspired by Dante's Inferno. And so it would literally, like, I did so much research about Dante's Inferno, and it was, yeah. I even bought like a book and everything, but like I never really went through with it. And then at the end, it kind of got inspired by Dexter, because I was watching that. Like I was gonna do something about like something with like daddy issues or something. I don't know. But then I just dropped it overall, because like I said, it's really hard for like even like a 14-year-old, much less anybody else, to like try to humanize a school shooter, because that's not something we really need to do. Like I get like it's an epidemic, it's weird, whatever the fuck, and that's not something that I personally have any knowledge about, and so therefore I don't think I would ever really engage in like a concept like that. And so yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna pick that up. But basically, like all the like the character would like go in like this like journey, and so they would meet like I don't know what the first sin was. I think it was like envy, I don't know what it was, but like they would just like go, and then they would have to like challenge them or like beat them or defeat them to go to the next level. And then I think that the main mission of like the journey is to like go meet like his like dead sister. Like his sister died a long time ago and they were really close, and so he wants to like, I don't know why his sister would be in hell though, you know. I think that like there was a way that like he would like, you know, like fight his way upwards, you know, like he would like fight his way upwards of hell, and then he would end up in heaven where he would meet his sister, and then I don't know where it would go from there. I don't know. So that's that. Yeah, I haven't picked that one up in a while, and I don't think I'm ever gonna. I have like these like little notepads of like all these ideas, but anyways. And then there was another one, and I think I called it like, it was something like weather, and it was basically just personifications of weather. And so there was like a personification of like rain, or like thunder, blizzards, snow and this and that, you know. And I had a lot of fun actually like creating the characters, and then their parents would be like the seasons. And I don't really know. And then I was like trying to think, I'm like, well, I was like, so like the kids would only have one parent, which would be the season, right? So spring would be the parents to like, I don't know, like rain, um, thunderstorm, something, right? So like spring would be like the parent to that. But then I was like, well, who would be the parent to like all of them? You know, would the dad would like, I mean, the main parent be like a whore? Like, but like each of the parent, like I would like each of the seasons are like different, like genders. You know, like there's I think spring and I think like spring and summer are both dudes, and then autumn and autumn and winter are females. So I'm like, how would that work? Like, how would that work? Who would be the main connector? Because there has to be a common denominator because they're all seasons. I don't know. But that was like a really long time ago, and I have not developed it since because it's kind of difficult. And like the only one that like is not like, well, the one that I'm working on currently is not really like anime or like TV show based. It's more kind of based on like just like my like interests in what's that word called? It's like speculative evolution. If you guys are like freaks like me and like just enjoy watching long form videos, there's like this one video called like All Tomorrows, and I mean it's been viewed like at least like 50 million times at this point, but it's like amazing amazing coverage of a book called All Tomorrows, and it's about like a speculative evolution of like humankind in the future. And like ever since I watched that, like I mean I've always been interested in like evolution and like biology and stuff like that, but like not to like the scientific degree. I just kind of like it in like in like the speculative, like in the sci-fi type of thing, you know. I like it when like I get to like deviate, like, oh, like what if like an elephant like gained like through like evolution, like somehow gained like this evolutionary trait of like having like two butts or something like that, you know, like something like really dumb. And I think it's really interesting to explore that. And so in the world that I'm working on currently, like it's called Kulesa, and it's about like monsters that like roam the earth. And I don't know what the direct timeline is, but like basically there's a species or like a family that is on like this Kulesa like space that is related to human, but it's like very, very distant. Like they're like distant, like cousins. Like there's like remnants of humans in there, but it's like really distant. Like, it's like the spit of human or like bones of humans. And not bones, but like bone matter of humans are like somehow embedded. And there's like if you like put them in like a 23andMe, like they would be like a 0.0000 like 0.0000% 1% of like human, you know. So they're very distant, but they're still like human a little bit. Like they're like bipedal and they're still like very humanoid, but they just aren't like they don't have like what we have, you know. Like it's, well, they kind of do, but like whatever, right? So that's what I'm working on currently, and it's something that I'm still developing and I'm still working on. I think I want to like do a little bit more research into like evolutionary biology, because I did take a class back in like whatchamacallit, back in like it was like it was when I was doing PSEO, and so I was taking like an evolutionary binary. I was taking an evolutionary biology class, and I was really like enamored by the studies, but like as you guys know, I suck at science, so I was struggling, but like I really like learning about like evolution and stuff like that. And so I think I just have to brush up on it, because I still don't understand what the difference between like a family, a genus, a species, or whatever. So I have to oh, speaking of which, I actually do have another one, but I don't think it is okay. So at the time I was playing a lot of Undertale, and I was also watching a lot of like video game developments, and I was just watching a lot of like video game like analysis and like retrospectives and stuff. And I was really, really inspired to make my own like kind of like video game. And like I think the idea now, I don't know if I want it to be like a video game. I think I don't know what I want it to be. Like I don't know. But like, and I was also watching a lot of RWBY. I don't know. It was a lot. And so I developed this world called, oh, what is it called? Binary Animal. Okay. And Binary Animal is like literally, oh, and like it also has a lot of influence from like Avatar. So it has influence from Avatar. Maybe a little bit of Yandere Sim, just based on like the format of it, of like how you interact with characters. Like there's like a pop-up menu and there's like, but that also could be Undertale. And there's also some influences from, what's another one? There's another one in there. Like I don't know what the other one was, but like anyways, yeah, RWBY, Avatar, just a mixed match of like shit that I really like. Well, I don't really like RWBY. It's just something that I've watched and I was influenced by. But basically, my like the main characters, they all have like some type of prosthetics, and I had a lot of fun like designing these prosthetics and thinking about like how they would function within this world, because that was like a big thing about this world. Like there's like this like epidemic, not epidemic, but there's this thing of like these animals like being forced. There's like this like thing, I don't know what it was, but there's like this like big bad company that's like releasing all these like metallic animals, because everyone in the world is like animals, right? There's like no humans. They're all like animal hybrids. So it's kind of like my own furry world. I don't know, I don't give a rat's ass about that. But anyways, and so they like there's like this big evil company in the world that's like I think it's called like Ebos. And so Ebos is like this like little like section in the world, and it's like a man-made island basically that houses all these like labs and like stuff and like experiments, and they're like creating these like little like lab monsters, not lab monsters, but like these little cyber motherfuckers that are like super OP and super like dangerous and stuff like that, and like super rabid. And essentially what their main goal is like to like create these like cyber animals that like take over the world or something, to like I don't know, like replace like the animal kind. And so my main character that's like yeah, but like the main story basically is like my main character like, wants to become like a prosthetics designer or like something that relates to like mechanics and stuff. And so they, instead of like, you know, following their parents' dream of like working in the mines, because this character comes from like a really kind of like, it's like I'm trying to think of a way, like a kind of like a Western kind of like old cowboy type of thing, where like there's like mines and just railroads, and it's like nice and red. It's like very coppery. Like when I think of the vibes, I think of like copper, I think of like red, I think of like soot, I think of like these like very kind of like dusty elements, and like kind of like wood buildings, and like like train tracks, and like, and so yeah, so this place I think is called like like Aku. I don't remember, it's like Aku or something like that. And so Aku is like this like really hot place. Like, and so basically the map is kind of set out like Avatar, I believe. It's based off of like Avatar. So there's like a really hot place in Avatar, right? It's called the Fire Nation. And so this is like the Fire Nation, but if it was like cowboy, like American, you know, like American Western, like back in the day, like yeehaw. Yeah. And so essentially like where was I going with that? Yeah, and so essentially the main character is like this little Finnick fox that like has like this really like janky like prosthetic, but then like throughout the story they like go out and like they like slowly start to improve their prosthetic with like all the people that they meet. And so basically they go from, I think, from a cow, which is like a really hot place, into a place that's like super cold. I like based it off of like Russia, Antarctica, like those really cool places, and I based a lot of the infrastructure off of like Russian apartments and stuff like that, like very kind of boxy. And they meet like this I think it's like a bunny, like a rabbit or some sort, like it's like a specific type of rabbit, but like they meet this rabbit, and this rabbit is like part of like the secret spy or whatever the fuck. And like so like they're like tasked to kind of hunt down this like intruder, and then they end up like becoming friends or something. And then so they like, and then so it's like, that's why I envision it to be kind of like a video game, because you start and then you start like collecting like usable characters as you go, you know. And so basically like this person would come with you, and so the bunny and the fox would go on to like another place. I don't remember what the other place I don't remember what like the format is, but then so they would like meet someone from like a place called like there's like a green place. It's like I based it off of like England, and so it's very green, very kind of like nature like, it's very foresty. It's like D&D almost, like very kind of like old time-ish. And then so they go in there, they meet like this really cool I think it's like sheep. It's like they meet this really cool sheep lady. And then they go on, and then for some reason I was like thinking of making all of the characters like non-binary, but at the same time I was designing them to be very kind of like femme presenting. And so if I were to if I were to like kind of go back to that concept, I think I would want to at least like kind of make the characters a little bit more androgynous. I think I did start doing that at like the later half of like my development. But I was like, I want to make sure that like the representation that I'm doing is like represent, like obviously there's like non-binary people out there that present like more traditionally feminine or more traditionally male, but at the same time for me, I want my characters to kind of be a little bit more kind of androgynous. And so yeah, I don't know though, but like yeah, that was the concept that I had. That's why I called it like binary animal, non-binary, because I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool to call it non-binary. But at the same time, I might change the name. Like there's still some stuff like going around, but it's like one of those ideas I have on the back burner. But I'm like still really excited about it because I did a lot of development work for it. But yeah, and so yeah, so they would meet like the sheep person, and then they would go on to like, I don't know, like this like trash boat island. And so basically the inspiration from that is like, you know, like there's like this big land mass of like man-made trash that's like in the ocean. That's basically what it is. Like it's literally like filled with like, I don't want to say like homeless people, but like homeless people, like, but they have homes, they make homes out of the trash there. And so they're like kind of like vagabonds, there's kind of nomads that like live there, and it's like everything is like made from trash. And they go there and they meet like this really like crafty, I think it's like a skunk, either a skunk or a raccoon, like a little creature. And then yeah, and then they go from there, and then I think they go to like either like a swamp area that's like very based off of, like Vietnam and like Louisiana, like the very kind of like swamp, like it's also based off of that part in like the last Airbender, the last Avatar, where they go to that like kind of like swamp area and they meet those like dudes. I don't remember what their names are. It's based off of that, and then they go to, I don't remember. And they go to like this really, the last place I hit up, I think it's going to be like the really high tech place. I think I call like She 10. And then so She 10 is basically like a cyberpunk, like not cyberpunk, it's like kind of like regal cyberpunk, you know, everything's like super like technological. And like when I imagine She 10, I think of it as very kind of gold, like gold and emeralds and stuff like that. Like everything's like super metallic and super shiny and like, but super like holographic and stuff like that. And then they go there and they meet like this like deer individual, and this deer individual is like their gateway into something. And then so they're like meet up or whatever, and then they like go and like take over the big, and then they go into Ebos, actually, because Ebos is like that like technological place. So I think that is like the third place they hit up, instead of like, so I don't know what the timeline is, but like they hit up that place, and then they like break out this like experiment. And so this experiment like does like floats. Instead of walking, this experiment floats. So it's like super weird. And so I like designed them to like specifically have like very kind of long clothing, so it kind of looks like they're walking, but actually they're just like floating because they're like an experiment. And so they're like a robot instead of being an actual human. They have like remnants of like a mouse, like mouse DNA, but they're like primarily like robotic and cyber whatever the fuck. And so yeah, I'm like, I feel like there's another one. There is another one. I was talking about that South Park one. I think I was developing that for a little bit. It's just basically like my universe of like, I think they were like 7th or 6th graders, but they would all be like little kind of like weirdos that are like, you know, like just hijinks that happen within like a middle school. Like they, I don't know, prank a teacher or something, or they skip class, or they I don't know what they do. But yeah, I just made a lot of characters for that, and I think I made like the main characters like twins or something, and like the twins like are like new to the school or something, and then one of the twins is like super like mean and abrasive, and the other one is just like super shy and stuff. Like, I'm super shy. But yeah, I don't know, that one I haven't developed as much. I think I just wanted to like design kid characters because I don't think I've ever really done that personally. I've only ever like designed like men, really beefy men, or yeah, mostly beefy men. I don't really design a lot of female characters, but that's because I don't know. I think I burnt myself out as like, because like when I was younger, I like all I ever drew was like girls, women, and stuff like that. And then for some reason, there was like this moment that like just like there was just like, this moment where I just something slapped my hand and was like, you are no longer able to draw women. And ever since then, I have struggled a lot with drawing like female characters because I don't know what it is. Like every time I draw a female character, I'm like, this just does not look right. Because I think over time my style has like kind of like evolved itself into like making characters like either androgynous or just male presenting, and I have not been able to hit that sweet spot within my style, at least my like anime or like anime or like humanoid drawing style, where my female characters look like the way that I want them to look. You know, they always end up looking like, I don't know, like kind of like uncanny. Like they don't look, they obviously look like female, but they don't like they don't have the traits I would like. I don't know how to explain it, but like I don't know what it is, but like if I could trade anything, I would trade anything to get that like fucking like power back to draw girls, because ever since that thing has happened to me, I just have been struggling so fucking hard. And like every time I sit down to draw something, it's always a fucking dude, and I'm like, I don't want to draw dudes anymore, I just want to draw girls. um but yeah, I feel like there's, oh, I also made a League of Legends team, and this wasn't based off of me playing League of Legends or anything like that. I think it was just because I was like on Tumblr at some point and I stumbled on some really freaky shit. No, just kidding. No, I just stumbled on like this like one artist that like made really cool like League of Legends fan art of like the players of like the League of Legends. Like I'm trying to remember what his name was. It's like Faker, and like some other character, not characters, some other players and stuff like that. And I was really inspired by that. So I made like my own League of Legends team. And I don't know anything about League of Legends, but I was in like I was getting in it. I was getting in it. But I don't think I'm ever gonna develop that. I think it was just for funsies, but I don't think I'm ever gonna develop that, because like how the fuck am I supposed to develop that? Like honestly. um and then I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like I've done some more stuff. Like it's kind of difficult to like think on the top of my head. I feel like that's like about it. In terms of like, I also made like this one universe, but it wasn't really like, I don't even know what to like call this universe, because it's, yeah, I never really gave it a name, but essentially it's just like it's kind of fucked up. So basically it's like a lot of like humanoid characters or like creatures that were like developed by these scientists that are meant for like combat. And so these humanoids are like basically like copies of one another, but like upgraded copies. And so like the very first copy are like really kind of like dumb but like beefy like men like male presenting characters. And so as like these like creatures or like specimen develop, they become a lot more kind of like slender but like more intelligent. Like instead of like feeling the need to like be like used for combat, they like are rely more on like their intelligence. And so like the first specimens don't really have the ability to like speak, and like their only like reason for existence is to eat and to fight each other to the death. And so yeah, and so the first specimen, they like the first creatures that were like developed by these scientists like are like worn down. Like most of them don't even have limbs. Like most of them are limbless, and they don't have like the ability to see or talk and stuff like that. And if they do have the ability to talk, it's like elementary. Like it's very kind of rudimentary, and they're only able to kind of speak in like really short phrases, like want food and stuff like that. And then as these like creatures like develop, they become like more kind of humanoid, and they're able to kind of see and stuff like that. And they become a lot more cunning and a lot more deceitful and a lot more manipulative. And that's the one way they're able to like power their like opponents and stuff, is by like, using their wits. But their like bodies are made very kind of like fragile. And so they don't really have it like natural defense like the older specimens have. And so I don't really know where I was going with that concept. Like it kind of relates back to like Coalesca, like the thing that I'm working on, but like these characters are a lot more humanoid. Like they have like human emotions and stuff like that. And so I don't really know like where I might like mix those two, but I don't know how I would do that, because they're kind of diverse. And I was also developing another one where I don't remember what it was called, but it was like these like creatures. That's like this like cat butler dude, and there was like there's like, I don't know what the fuck it was called. Like I don't know what it was, but like basically they're like, I don't know what the, oh fuck me, but like basically there's another one. I don't know what that was based on, but yeah, lots of things. And yeah, so basically I'm just like Tina Belcher. I just like creating like these like worlds around the things that I'm obsessed with. And yeah, I'm surprised I never really made anything for like regular show. But I guess I did get into that like really late in the game. Like I got into that like last year, so I'm not like too surprised. I'm like trying to think if there's anything else that I've created. I feel like I have, but it's hard to think. I think that's about it. Honestly, I think that's about it. Um, yeah, like the Obey Me one is like the one that I kind of fleshed out a little bit more, I think. Like the Obey Me one, it was like I had like what, like almost 12 characters, and like each of them were kind of based off of like um ENTP, not ENTP, like my Myers Briggs or whatever, and they all had like different like, I don't know. I like base these characters off of like these like personality tests online. So there's a lot of like stuff about like, I don't know what it was, but like yeah, so they all had like familiars, and so these familiars, I don't know if they were like fucking. Like I don't know if they're like in relationships. Like I don't know if they're like partners dating or like what, but like basically they're just like creatures, like soul bonded creatures, I think. I don't know. And they would all be like parallels to their counterpart. And so these magic dudes are like in a magic school or whatever, and they're like, I don't know like what the plot of it was. I just developed the character and was like, yeah, wow, I'm done. That's it, cut the cameras. But I don't, yeah. Like I remember like doing some research about like rock stars. Like I think like one of the moms like named all of the characters like after her favorite rock stars. I don't know, but they're like all brothers, I think, or are they? Yeah, I think they're all brothers, but like with different moms. So the dad's a hoe. Which is I think is kind of related to Obey Me. No, I think they're all brothers. Why am I? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're all brothers. But yeah, that's I. Oh my gosh, I said I wouldn't talk for long, but it's almost 40 minutes of just me yapping, yapping, yapping. But yeah, yeah, that's all. I think that's all I have to say. I think that like kind of exposed me quite a bit. Because yeah, watch me like remember like another like thing that I've made. I think that's like literally all of it. Honestly, yeah, that's literally all of it. Okay. I don't think I've like made anything other than that. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I mean, I would be interested if you guys also did this. We can all be Tina Belchers together. It's not something I'm ashamed of. I think it's really good to get inspired by things that you obviously like, because yeah, it means that you're like enjoying what you're consuming, and like really allowing yourself to creatively express yourself with like different thingamabobbers. And so yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. And I would be interested in hearing if you guys also have done this as well, because yeah, and if you guys are interested in like, seeing the art that I made for it, I'd be open to sharing it. But at the same time, only if you guys are interested, I feel like. But like I would also be, open to doing it on my own terms. We'll see. But yeah, I gotta log off and go to bed. All right, kisses.